feel the same way. That's a very few number. Man, the passion, energy from our fan base. I've been in a lot of competitive arenas as a player and as a coach. There was nothing better that I've ever been in than what happened on Saturday night.
Well, and realize it's the same game. It's not like we're going to Canada and they're going to change the rules. It's going to be the same game. It's going to be a little louder and playing at a different location.
You know what Baker Mayfield said about Neland Stadium? He said, it's a different type of loud. Can't even describe it. Can't describe it? It's okay. His teammates did. And I quote, I ran out of the tunnel for warm-ups, and I was greeted by thousands of screaming fans. The game wouldn't even start for over an hour, but those people seemed to think it was kickoff. Those psychotic students already giving us a preview of what to expect in the hours to come. What followed was a dissertation of an impact a crowd could have on a football game. They made it absolutely impossible to communicate. But on the first drive, we had to change our snap count because even our silent count was ineffective against the wall of noise. I came off the field after the first drive, and I reassured my coach that the fans would settle down in due time, and that noise wasn't going to be an issue going forward. Boy, was I wrong. The noise was a constant, oppressive force. I could literally feel it on my skin. Those fans weren't just loud on the first drive or even just third down, but every single play. End quote. Wow. Ball Nation, he's talking about us. Don't let up.
If it hurts, game the breaks will get you, don't let up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. Ball, obstacles, block, cut, sides, through the games after this win it ends. Press you again, we're here for the first man. Carry everybody, keep it there for 60 minutes.
There on the field, the pride of the Southland band crisply marches into the Giant T. The rear, the roar of 97,000 fans rises with each rhythmic step. In the background, George Beaches is singing "Fight, Vols, Fight." The orange and white Shakers flood the air. The volunteers are ready at the north end of the football field to burst through the gate. They're coming now, racing onto the field through the Giant T. In that magic moment that says, wherever you are, it's football time in Tennessee.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley.
I'm Dauber.
I'm Vols JP.
Boys,
Gator
it's Wednesday. Gator hater. It's freaking Wednesday. I feel like I've been live streaming for about 48 hours straight, but dang it, it's Wednesday. Every single day that passes, I get a little bit more fired up. And I've watched that video about 14 times. About knocked my light off. Punching my desk. About broke my finger Monday screaming at Xavier on a live stream. Now, you never know what's going to happen because it is Gator Hater Week. Myself and Dauber last night hanging out with the fans, fan call-in show. Absolute blast. We went off the air, and then me, Dauber, and Xavier sat here and talked for another 20 to 30 minutes. Dauber, it's Gator Hater Week.
Oh, every single play. I love it.
Dude, I'm just going to keep adding more and more clips every single week because I get more and more fired up watching Admiral Schofield. The Johnny Majors Classic video a couple of weeks ago, oh my gosh, I get chill bumps. And then listening to them read off the Maxim gets me fired up. Look, we talked last night with the fans on the fan call-in show. Me and Dauber talked to them about what this game means. And so many young people came on the show and they were like, I've never seen Tennessee win. 2016 was it. That's the only time. And look, I saw this tweet right before we went live. Cole Kubelik put this out. Why the hype for Florida, Tennessee? This is a little education for you young guys out there. All about this, what this game was once for those who are too young. 95, number 4 versus number 8. 96, number 4 versus number 2. Number 1 versus number 4. Number 2 versus number 6. Number 4 versus number 2. JP, I know you hate Alabama more than anything. I know that's your number 1. Mine's Georgia. Yours is I get it. I understand Alabama's up there. But tell me why you hate Florida. And about the glory days, man, those late 90s, even some of the early 2000s, it was a different rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why that I hate Florida is obviously that they're a SEC East, when the Southeastern Conference split off into conferences or into divisions, and with all the Spurrier stuff, obviously, in the 90s and poking fun of Tennessee and just his smugness and with all that, and then just the fact of the way that Tennessee has found every way possible to lose in this series. I mean, every way imaginable. Yes, there's been several years that Florida has just been the better football team. But gosh, we could sit down and spend a whole hour just talking about the ways that this Tennessee football team over the years has found ways to give this game away. And I mean, that goes even back to, the Peyton Manning days. I mean, who remembers, I think, what was it, 97? And we have like a 11 or 14 point lead at halftime. And then we come out after halftime and we turn the ball over like 4 or 5 times. I mean, it was like that Tennessee could not hold on to the football. Just things like that, the frustration, and then just the cockiness of the Florida fans. I mean, in all reality, if it wasn't for Steve Spurrier, the program would be nothing. I mean, this program. Yes, and you have to give them credit. They've won three national championships or whatever. I mean, give them credit for that. But Steve Spurrier is the only reason that Florida Gators is worth anything. I've been to Gainesville. It's nothing. It's nothing. I wouldn't live there if you gave me $1 million.
I love it. We're coming out hot right out of the gate. Look, we're going to talk about Tennessee being favored so heavily in this game. I want to kind of get into that a little bit. Let's run down the chat. See who's hanging out bright and early. Buck's in the house early. One of the first one, and this is at 5:30. 5:30. Buck is dropping super chats. Thank you for the $2. 45-1. Florida gets the extra point, but misses the touchdown. That's what Buck's rolling with on his score prediction. We'll get into ours a little bit later in the show. Kelly Goodwin in the house. What's up, Kelly? Glad to see you in the chat. Man, I waited so long. To jump into these super chats. Chase Newsom for 5. Thank you for the super chat. Gator Hater Week is dragging for me. I'm praying Saturday relieves all of this stress. LOL. I don't know, Chase. That's what JP said coming in here. I tell you what, boys, it's just being online every day. It's just day by day by day. It's building just a little bit more. I'm getting a little bit more fired up. And by the time Saturday rolls around, Vols by 50 going to be gone. It's going to be Vols by 150 because that's the way I am when Saturday gets here. John Hill for $20. That ain't cheap. Let's get the Gator tailgating party started. Go Big Orange. Thank you, John, for the $20. Very generous super chat to get things rolling here. We appreciate it, my man. We are going to do, I get the pun. I get the pun there, John. But we are going to do a tailgate show on Saturday at 2:30, an hour before kickoff. If you're a member of this channel, you'll have an opportunity to jump on here and hang out with us before the show. We'll take you all the way up to kickoff. Last week, man, the Pitt game, we almost went past kickoff because we were watching that Alabama game. Gabriel's here. What's up, Gabriel? Good to see you in the chat. I'm a Vol for life is in the house. What's up? Octavian is a Gator fan, but he's welcome here. He hangs out every single Sunday with the NCAA stream. So I'll welcome Octavian. Dylan Pootman for 2. Thank you for the super chat. First live as a member. Go Big Orange. Well, thank you for becoming a member and thank you for the super chat. We appreciate that. Am I caught up? I'll go back and double check. I'm gonna go back and double check and make sure we're caught up on the super chats. What I want to talk about, guys, is the expectations for this game. We talked about this a little bit on the fan call-in show, but Diver, we go into this thing. Vegas has us favored now up to 11 points. You go look at the ESPN FPI. They've got Tennessee at 87.4% odds of winning this game. You look at it on paper, you look at the analytics, you look at everything. Tennessee should win this football game. Let's talk about battered Vol syndrome and how real it is. And then I want to go take a look at what Josh Pate predicted after you chime in on this.
Man, talked about it last night. The national media and the positivity that they have right now for this Tennessee football program is something like we've not seen in years, probably decades. It's good, but you can't help but, like JP was talking about earlier, we've gone into this game feeling good about it, feeling pumped up. Gone into this game the better team on paper, probably the better team on the field sometimes, and still found ways to lose it. So it is that, but this coaching staff is different. We've seen it. They're developing players. They're putting in coaching. They're coaching the guys up, and you're seeing improvement. So I think that's the biggest difference right now that you can point to. And man, the fan base, we talked about this last night. They're just salivating for any type of success. You saw how everybody jumped on basketball when they got rolling. You saw how they jumped on baseball. People that weren't fans of baseball were pulling for Tony Vitello and the team. It is just talked about it right before we went on. What Danny White tweeted out earlier this evening. We're going to have a watch party at the Vol Village for those that aren't lucky enough to find tickets and pay an arm and a leg for them. It's a lot of positivity. A lot of people going to be in Knoxville. We talked about got game day coming. Barstool Sports is setting up. Josh Pate's going to be there. It's lots of moving and shaking going on in Knoxville, and a lot of hype. Well deserved. So.
What do you guys think about this right here? Big time game, number 20 Florida, number 11 Tennessee. This just tweeted out by Vol Football about a minute after we went live. I saw everybody in the chat talking about it. JP, what do you think? There was a lot of buzz about Smokey Grace. What do you think? Going with the classic look, orange tops, white bottoms. What do you think?
I'm perfectly fine with it. The only thing, if I had my preference, I would have went all orange this week against Florida and went classic last week against Akron. But, I don't care, honestly. That is sleek. That's beautiful. Tennessee is orange. That's is one of the most unique things about Tennessee is it's not some same random color as blue or red or black or, whatever. Tennessee is orange. Tennessee fans need to embrace it. Yes, I'm fine with the alternate uniforms because I know that the players and, there's a lot of fans that like it, but that's sharp right there. That's sharp. Love it.
Don't the players vote on which combination?
I've heard that they have some input in that, but, I don't know exactly how all that works.
Last year, Heupel left it up to the seniors for the last home game. And I've heard some other stuff, maybe the captains get to vote or something like that. But, man, I'm all for that. You see, and we talked about this when Heupel was hired, and a lot of the group building and team building stuff that he was doing. He's a player's coach. He listens to the players. He gets the players, but he's also coaching them up. And I think that's evident in the success that he's had recruiting and getting guys in. All the guys that come in for visits talk about the family and I know that's kind of coach speak or players speak. That they say that about all the visits, but the results speak. They're buying in, and that's what's exciting. That's what gets me going. Is it's not just based on hype. You're seeing results. You're seeing players get better.
Gabriel says 320 people watching, only 17 likes. Come on, y'all. Like it up. I think you probably got to refresh. I'm sure it's higher than that. But we do have 320 people watching live right now. Do us a favor. Do hit that thumbs up. It helps the channel. Put it out on Twitter. Put it in the Facebook group. We are, as of right now, about 75 subscribers away from 15,000. Here's the deal, guys.
Crazy,
You guys are on blast. You guys are blowing this thing up. You guys are responsible for the growth of this channel. It's nothing we do. It's what you do. You guys build this community. We're here hanging out. You guys are here to listen, but you are the audience. Without you, we're nothing. Without you, it's just the three of us sitting here looking at each other. I wouldn't talk to these guys if you guys weren't here with us watching. Let's be honest. Anyway, if we get to 15,000 subscribers by the end of the show, I'm giving away 3 of the brand new limited edition Buck Fama shirts. Why not go ahead and share them up? I'll share them up right now. I didn't want to do any promotion until a little bit later, but somebody mentioned it, so let's go ahead and jump into it. I'm going to give away 3 Buck Fama shirts. If you don't want the Buck Fama, you can pick one of your choice, but these are limited edition. You guys asked for these. You guys demanded these. They are a limited run. They're going to drop at any moment. I don't know when, but they're going to come down, and it's going to be soon. You guys are picking them up. You guys definitely like them. But the way we can get to 15K by the end of the stream, hit that share button. Don't just hit like, hit share. It'll pop up a little link. You can hit Facebook. You can hit Twitter if you're connected. It'll go wherever you want it to go. But let somebody know we're live. Let's get this thing to 15,000 subscribers by the end of the stream, and let's give away 3 free T-shirts. It would only be fitting for JP to be here when we did that because JP loves to give away profits. That's what he likes to do. I did miss a super chat earlier. Austin Yardley for 2. Thank you for the super chat. Said over-under on Anthony Richardson tackles. You know, I've been joking about that. I made fun of it on Locked On Vols. I made fun of it last night. I've been talking about it all week. Anthony Richardson has way more tackles than he has touchdown passes. I think he has the same tackles as touchdown runs. But the over-under, I'm going to say Anthony Richardson has at least a tackle, and I don't think he has a touchdown. So I'm going to go +1 tackles to interception ratio. Stevie J for $50. That is not cheap. That is a very, very generous super chat. And when you're very generous, we got to do one thing and one thing only, and that is play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Thank you, Stevie J, for the $50. Very generous, my man. We appreciate that. Says, what gets me going is that this is the same team that hung with Bama last year, but with a better defense. Go Big Orange. JP, what do you think about that? What do you think? You know, we talked about it a lot last night, how exciting the defense is and how never in a million years did we expect to be going into week 4 that we would be talking about the defense the way that we are.
I definitely think that we've got some better depth there for sure. We still got issues, especially in the back end. That's probably my biggest concern there, is still the secondary with that. But I definitely think that we got some guys up front that we can rotate in. I think that they showed, you know, what they could do as far as getting pressure there a couple of weeks ago against Pate. But, you know, this game is going to be interesting, obviously, because of, you know, the ability of Richardson to run. And, you know, Tennessee, in order to have success and to win this football game, they must stop the run. They must stop Florida's running game, and that includes Richardson as well. And you know, obviously this defense had a really, really hard time stopping the quarterback last year in you know, several games, most games. So you know, that's going to be a huge challenge for this. And you know, is this defense improved enough? I don't think, you know, what's happened, you know, Akron and Ball State, you know, I mean, the competition just that level of competition wasn't there. Yes, I mean, there was certainly positives. I mean, we held Akron out of the end zone. We kind of, you know, allowed some yards, but, you know, forced several field goal attempts up there at Pitt. You know, those things like that is certainly an improvement from the things that we saw last year. But I'm still holding judgment. Talk to me Saturday night about 7:30, and I'll have a better idea of how this defense is.
I was gonna throw a question to JP. So your defensive coordinator, do you sell out to stop the run? Do you spy Richardson? And that's what Boogie has been saying.
I've got Dauber on the train.
I think he's about convinced me.
Bring in the house. If the back end don't hold up, who cares? Bring the freaking house.
Yes,
the offense is going to score points.
Yes.
if I lose this game, at least Saturday night, if I'm Tennessee and I'm that coaching staff, I'm going to say, well, Anthony Richardson just found out how to throw the football, and he beat me with his arm. I'm not going to allow him or their running backs to control this game because, I think that's what Florida wants to do. Obviously, they want to control this game. They want to run the clock. They want to shorten it. In essence, a lot of things that Tennessee has wanted to do in the years past. Can they do that? Can Florida run consistently and control the clock and have Richardson make plays with his legs? That's going to be the thing. If I'm Tennessee, I'm looking at that Kentucky game.
Make him use his arm to beat you.
Yes. And, the thing is as well, I mean, this is the first, obviously he played some last year, but, this is their first road game. And, I mean, what an atmosphere to come into for this first road game. This first quarter Tennessee has an opportunity to come out. If that offense is humming, if Tennessee's offense is humming with this excitement and as loud as it's going to be down there, you can't help but think that Richardson is going to be confused, that they're going to have communication issues, all of those things. I mean, there is an opportunity for Tennessee to really make a statement in those first 10 minutes of this football game.
I am hoping that he walks off the field Saturday evening and his white jersey is a lovely shade of green.
But that's worth talking about. And my, how the tide has turned, that we're the favorite. We're predicted to win this football game, and now Florida wants to come in and control the clock and manage the game. That JP, you hit the nail on the head. That's the way we used to be. You got to control the clock. Keep the ball away from them because they have all the playmakers.
Yeah.
Now guess what? Now we've got all the playmakers. We're the ones. It's nice to be on the attack. To quote Johnny Majors, attack, instead of being so reserved, so defensive, and trying to escape with a win. Let me get caught up on Super Chats, and then I'm going to throw a question at Dauber. Billy Napier, he should probably be game planning, but he's here hanging out with us. Thank you for the $2. I'm emotionally invested in Jalen Hyatt. I think we all are. And, Billy, I would be studying tape because he's balled out this season. He showed that he's put the work in. Don Yoder becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that. You've got access to custom Talkin VAWLS emojis. You've got access to the fan call-in show. So be here Saturday at 2:30. You guys get to come on and run the show and hang out, leading you all the way up to kickoff. Always a good time. Dustin Couch for $5. Wife works. Got a babysitter for our 5-month-old for his own safety because she knew the Vols would be making all the big plays this Saturday. Yeah, Dustin, I get it, buddy. I've got to lock myself downstairs in the basement so I don't scare anybody in the household because that's typically what happens. And this one's for real. It's funny. My wife, the Akron game, she's like, it's 7 o'clock. You've got to be quiet. And I was like, it's Akron. It's Akron. I won't make any noise. She's looked at me like, doesn't matter if it's ETSU. You need to go to the basement and watch the game. Robert Tuck for $2. Boogie didn't ask me last night. I hate Alabama and then Florida. So, some of us are a little weird like myself. Some of us hate Georgia. But it's Alabama, Georgia, or Florida. That's the ongoing thing.
You never asked me last night either.
Who is it?
Anybody not in orange.
See, that's a generic answer.
No, man.
Don't be like last night. I don't have hate in my heart. I just love everybody. Come on, Dauber. You got to hate somebody
everybody.
a little.
I hate everybody.
There you go.
They're not wearing orange.
So last night, I don't hate anybody. Tonight, you're full of piss and vinegar. You hate all of them, everybody. From the Vanderbilts to the Ole Miss, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, everybody in between. I love it. I would rather you hate everybody than not have any hate. Corey Smith becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that. Hope to see you on Saturday for the fan call-in show. Always a good time, man. I'm really glad that we decided to do that extra fan call-in show. And look, I told Dauber, I was like, dude, you don't have to do it. If you want to come on, he's like, no, I want to do it. He's been here, been a blast. Always enjoy. It's a way that we get to connect with you guys, so it's always a lot of fun. Let me find, I missed in the super chat here. Stevie J with another $50. Stevie J just wants to hear the clip again. Stevie J balling out tonight. We appreciate it. You got to play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
You know it's a good show when the clips start to bog down because we're over 400 people watching live on a JP. You remember back in the day when we had like 150 people watching post game shows?
Mm-hmm.
Now we got 400 people watching on these Wednesday night shows. We appreciate you guys being here. I'll say it again: hit the thumbs up, share this thing out, because let me get a live update coming at you live right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. We are 57 subscribers away from 15,000 subscribers. I'm trying to give these shirts away. If we get to 15K, we're giving away 3 free shirts. So hit that share button, blast it out on Twitter, let them know we're live. Hit hashtag Vol Twitter. Let Vol Twitter do their thing. Let's get to 15K before the end of the night. Stevie J for $50. Stevie, you're being very generous. Very, very generous. I don't know if you're like Wayne and you won at the casino tonight. I don't know what happened, but we appreciate it. We need to see a true high-speed offense. We haven't seen full high-speed offense in any of the games yet.
Oh, they're going to run tempo.
What do you think about that, though? Do you think that they're slowing it down at certain times? I almost wonder if, especially Ball State, Akron, it's kind of like, okay, let's slow it down and just get out of here.
I think the score dictated the play calling. They did run tempo a couple series, but I can't remember who it was that brought up. Maybe it was one of the post games. They were talking about like a 4-minute offense, and that was something that last year this team couldn't do. If they took their foot off the gas pedal, they seemed to bog down. They seemed to, stumble up, and that's when they'd go 3 and out. And as you know, 3 and out for a team that's trying to run tempo, or if they're out of their tempo game and going 3 and out, trying to eat clock to get to the end of the game, that doesn't help you. But they've been able to sustain some drives and sort of milk the clock like they weren't able to do last year. So, but yeah, in a game like this, Heupel's looking to exploit mismatches, and that's what the tempo's for. And my hope is they do have to slow it down and eat some clock because they're up 3 or 4 scores, and it's smooth sailing. But we'll just have to wait until Saturday to see all that.
Well, let's transition to that because, again, that's where I was going to start the show. We're 30 minutes in. That's what I love when the OGs are back together, when the band's rolling, when it's myself, Dauber, and JP. We're clicking. We're firing on all cylinders. No disrespect to Snake, who's in the chat right now. But, look, we're firing on all cylinders. We're 30 minutes in. I've not even started the first topic. But, Dauber, you mentioned, let's get up. Let's blow them out, and let's slow down the tempo so we can get out of there and start thinking about LSU. But all of the national media, all the talking heads, everybody's picking Tennessee. You've got the FBI I mentioned earlier, ESPN FBI has got Tennessee heavy favorites. Vegas has them favored. Everybody is picking Tennessee in this game. I made a video earlier today, Brady Quinn, talking about the noise in Neland Stadium, talking about that the center was getting ready to snap the ball, and he's like, the ball's shaking on the ground because they're making so much noise. And, everybody's picking Tennessee. Let's go listen to Josh Pate. He's got you guys have already talked about it in the chat. I'm not going to spoil the prediction. I'm going to listen to what Josh Pate had to say about this football game, and then we'll kind of make some comments as he goes through this. You can see he's got it up on the screen. And that's the thing. Like, yes, Tennessee's played a couple of cupcakes, right? I talked about this on Locked On Vols, which aired this morning. If you missed my appearance, make sure you go check it out. Eric Kane's the man, works for VolQuest, has the Locked On Vols podcast, posts a video Monday through Friday every day. Go check it out. Eric's the man. Love interacting with that dude. But I talked about it on his show. Tennessee averaging 52 points a game. They're 4th in the country in scoring offense. They are 27th in scoring defense, giving up just 14.3 points a game. What more could you ask for? You're 3 games in. You played a couple of cupcakes. You've done what you're supposed to do. But let's hear what Josh Pate says going into this game, Tennessee versus Florida. We'll pause it as we go through and provide commentary.
If Tennessee's at 20 or 24 and a half, they're going to run away from you in all likelihood. Tennessee, I think, if you're looking at a game to compare this one to, should go back to last year. Ironically, it's a game we were at, and it's Ohio State versus Michigan State. Now, let me stop. I'm not comparing the Florida team, apples to the Michigan State team last year, nor am I comparing Tennessee to Ohio State. What I'm saying is the game could end up starting a lot like that Ohio State-Michigan State game did last year. We were there, total mismatch, total body bag special from the outset. And Ohio State they didn't feel anything out. They knew they had a mismatch, they exploited it, and they completely sliced Michigan State. Now, Florida's got an infinitely better secondary.
Let's start there because Dauber talked about that. Mismatches, JP. Dauber mentioned mismatches. And we got to keep in mind, Cedric Tillman may be out. Cheers to the working man. Cedric Tillman may be out. Do you still think we can exploit mismatches with our wide receiver unit versus their secondary on offense? To jump out to a quick, I think starting fast is huge in this game. I asked you like 14 questions there, JP.
We can, but I mean, I'll admit it is concerning that that more than likely Tillman is not going to play just for the sole fact that it's obvious that that's who Hooker is most comfortable with. 18 targets against Pitt. That's who he went to in overtime. So Brew McCoy, Merrill, Keaton, those guys are certainly going to have to step up. But if Tennessee can win first down, if they can get in good down and distances, and like you all were just talking about, running that fast-paced tempo, I don't care if Florida does have a good secondary or whatever. It is so many times that last year with this offense, Tennessee caught the defense trying to figure out, where they need to line up, what kind of play that the defense, what kind of defense that they were needing to run, and Tennessee would just snap the ball and just run by them. So that is the key. That's the key to it. If Tennessee is struggling in down and distance like they did against Pitt, then it's going to be another one of those grinding top games, and that's where that it could become a huge issue without Tillman for sure.
But
hold on, let me hit this real quick. Peyton Williamson for 2 says we need a Jeremy Banks suplex on AR. Put him down. Hey, keep it clean here, Jeremy. We got to keep Jeremy Banks clean. I think Jeremy Banks has played with this discipline so far this season. Go ahead, Dauber.
I was going to say, think back to going into last season. What was your question and concern? The wide receivers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
unproven.
Yeah,
all of them.
I agree.
Tillman emerged last year because of the play calling.
Yeah.
So what's not to say? We've got athletes galore in the wide receivers room. So that play calling, that scheming that you saw guys running completely wide open last year. And early in the season, that's why I think the criticism of Milton was so hard, because the guys were so wide open and they were getting missed. And it wasn't that the routes were being ran perfect. It was that the scheme, they were mismatched. The motion was drawing the help defender over. That's why those guys were running wide open. And that's why those plays were there. And it wasn't just it was all year long. You had guys running open. You look at Warren and Fant, they've ran a couple plays to the tight end. I really think that the tight end is going to be used a whole lot more this year. Just wait for that to
It needs to happen this week. This week is the time to expose Florida because their secondary may be better, as Josh Pate's about to talk about here.
Well,
their linebacker unit is weak, and somebody in the chat just asked if their middle linebacker. Yes, Miller, the leader of their defense, is out. He is out.
Yeah.
They've got a freshman and a redshirt freshman starting at middle linebacker. They need to attack with the linebacker position, but also the running game. We saw South Florida run all over Florida, and I think JP brought up a good point. Win first down. Win first down.
That's so important with this offense.
You can't get behind the chains, and not only do that with the running game, but don't shoot yourself in the foot with dumb penalties. You can't end up in 1st and 15, 1st and 20 after a holding call. You got to stay ahead of the chains, win first down, and I think Florida's going to have their hands full.
I'm not going to spoil my pick, but I'm going to go ahead and say I think that Brew McCoy has a big game. I think this is his coming out party. Whether or not Tillman plays. Somebody
in the chat says, how do you know Tillman's out for 6 weeks? I don't think anybody said that.
somebody
said it
in the chat.
At this point, nobody knows.
Nobody
It's
knows.
all speculation. Nobody has a clue. It does sound like it's
game time
trending.
decision is what
But it
they
sounds like
said.
it's trending towards him not playing this week. I don't think he's out. I don't. If you're going to be out 6 weeks, there's no way you come out of the tent and walk up and down the sideline. You're on crutches if you're going to be out 6 weeks. I don't.
And supposedly they're saying that none of them were any kind of boots or anything at practice this week, or at least our other in the week. So, I would think that if it was that severe, that those guys would be in. Tillman would have a boot on, I would think. But
right.
It sounds like the running backs. It sounds like the running
There's
backs.
so much
are good
rumors out there. There's so much rumors out there.
There's always the guy that it's like he tweets something and then everybody says this guy's been right 97.3% of the time. We got to trust this guy. It's like, come on. We'll find out Saturday. We'll find out Saturday when VolQuest says they're outstretching. Cedric Tillman's not on the sideline. That's when we'll find out. David Zierline for 20. Thank you for the super chat. That ain't cheap. It's a very generous super chat, David. We appreciate the support, buddy. Says, I think we need to use tight ends more. Yeah, that's going right along with what Dauber said. Man, I've been saying it for a long time. I love the little fake quarterback draw, sneak the tight end up the middle, and hit. And I just think Florida's going to be very vulnerable to the tight ends, the middle of the field
is going to be open.
Yeah. But I also agree, Dauber, with what you said. I think, especially if Cedric Tillman's out, I think Brew McCoy's going to ball out. And it's because I think he's gotten limited targets because Hendon Hooker's so comfortable with Cedric Tillman. And that's why, in the Pitt game, however many targets, I think JP said 18 to whatever it was, 18, 20, whatever, however many targets. He was dialed in on Cedric Tillman because that's where he's comfortable. Overtime, why does he go to Cedric Tillman? That's where he's comfortable. And it worked out. We got the win, and we're sitting here at 3-0. But I think, especially if Cedric Tillman's out, I look for Brew McCoy to absolutely ball out on Saturday. James Hinchin becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that. You got those custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, access to fan call-in shows, and you're also putting a monthly tip in the old tip jar. We appreciate it. Stevie J, after spending $100 in Super Chats, Stevie J's like, wow, it's a whole lot cheaper to just become a member of the channel, and then I can just come on the fan call-in and say whatever I want, whenever I want. We appreciate you, Stevie J. Good to see you in the chat tonight, buddy. Being very generous. We appreciate that support. Got another Super Chat here. Let me keep scrolling down here and find it. StreamYard's still not answered my email. I don't think they're ever going to separate these Super Chats from regular comments. Maybe one day they'll do that. Maybe one day they will do that. Man, what did I miss? Let's keep the show rolling. I'll go back and refresh my supers and see what I missed. Let's hear a little bit more from Josh Pate as he makes predictions for this Tennessee game. Anybody that doesn't know, they've got some type of system, analytics, numbers, data, all that fun stuff that they kind of pump in, and that's what comes out with their prediction. So let's hear a little bit more from Josh Pate while I go clear up these super chats.
Than Michigan State ever thought about having last year, or apparently is going to think about having this year, judging by last week. So I'm not saying that it's Tennessee 28-0 right out the gate, but I am saying there are some pretty glaring mismatches positionally here that Tennessee, if they so choose to, could aggressively go after and never even allow you time to breathe. I'm very interested to see whether they do that, because you could also sit here in the other chair if we had one on.
Go ahead, JP.
That right there, Hendon Hooker is going to run a lot Saturday. I watched that South Florida game, and they had no answer to that quarterback, and especially if that
middle of the field.
Yeah, and if that linebacker's out, and they've got some inexperience in that,
It sounds like he's definitely out.
I fully expect Hendon Hooker to have. Be used a lot, because I think that's going to open up, and because I feel like the Tennessee has still somewhat struggled running the ball this year. Yes, I know that they've gained some yards against Akron and Ball State, but it was pretty pitiful against Pitt. I think Pitt's defense is better than Florida's, so I would expect Tennessee to be able to run it some better, but with the potential injuries that's going on and the lack of depth at that running back, I look for Hendon Hooker's legs to be if Tennessee wins this game in a convincing fashion, I feel like that it's going to be a lot of it is going to be because of number 5's legs.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. They've utilized him in the red zone. And then obviously he's going to elude the pass rush, but yeah,
And
I think. Go ahead.
one thing that I've been thinking about, this week, all that talk about Hooker and being hyped up and he struggled at the start of these games and being inaccurate and those types of things. I almost think maybe that they ought to get him involved in the running game early, and maybe if he gets involved that way, maybe that settles him down if that is the problems that he's been having early on in these games.
All right, let's jump back in here a little bit more. Man, we're up to 450 people watching live. Glad you guys are choosing us on this Wednesday night. Make sure you do smash that thumbs up. Share out the link. We're a little over 50 subscribers away. Little over 50. You guys keep sharing. I promise you we'll hit 15,000. Share it on Twitter. Share it on Facebook. All that good stuff. We would appreciate the support. But thank you just for being here for Talkin VAWLS Live. Just three regular dudes. We're not experts, insiders. We are fans just like you guys. Let's hear a little bit more from Josh Pate on his prediction for Tennessee, Florida.
Utilizing the ground game and taking advantage of Florida's lack of depth and lack of players like Ventrell Miller. That's all part of what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, I hope from Tennessee's perspective, if I'm backing them, they don't feel their way out in this game. They know who they are. They know where the mismatches are. I think they'll act every bit like Ohio State did against Michigan State last year. Let's take a look at what the Vegas number is. Let's take a look at what our model thinks on this thing. The Vegas number, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, is Tennessee minus 10.5. We're still north of that. We don't think the number's big enough. The model has Tennessee minus 2 touchdowns. Just think it's a mismatch. And this is
so. Diver, what do you think about that? That Josh Pate, his numbers, his crew, and I love Josh Pate. Like, if our channel could become a fraction of what Josh Pate does, I would be extremely happy. But what do you think about that? They don't think Vegas is enough. Like, I don't know. Like, what goes through your head when you hear that? Just the grand scheme of things. Must win. Is this a must win? Do people turn on Josh Heupel? I don't know. I feel like it's such a crucial game on Saturday. What do you think when you hear that's not enough? 14, 2 touchdowns.
I'll say what I said last night. This team overachieved last year and exponentially raised the bar of expectations. Florida's a good team. Don't get me wrong. They've got speed. They've got athletes. Any game in the SEC is going to be tough. The thing is, Tennessee now has athletes. The drop off between first and second and third string guys is glaringly apparent with the teams at the top. Your Georgias, your Alabamas. Florida they're in a little bit of a nosedive right now. And I think Tennessee is on the upward trend, so stuff's evening out. And we talked about it the game last year. And this team last year had some deficiencies on defense. And seemingly, you won a game against a ranked, decent Pitt team because your defense. That's a game that, admittedly, all three of us would say Tennessee would have lost last year. So I think moving forward, I think that all this love and all this national attention that Tennessee is garnering right now is based on they've got a couple pieces more than they had last year. I think the offense is going to score points. I said that last year preseason. I said if the defense can do enough to slow down some teams, they'll be in games, be in some games late, but your talent level and your lack of depth is going to be what shows. And that was the case last year. I think you've added pieces. I think you're working on that. I think you've got a competent quarterback right now, and a quarterback that protects the football, number one, and is very efficient. Yes, he does seem to have comfort with Tillman and does seem to stare him down some. And that could be a problem if Tillman is out Saturday, but he's still shown that he protects football, and that's huge. I think that if Tennessee is in a close game, it's because they're making mistakes and they're hurting themselves.
Keeping it close.
Heather Evans becomes a member of the channel. Thank you, Heather, for the very, very generous support. We appreciate that. Let me hit these couple of super chats real quick. We'll get back into Josh Pate here. You guys being very generous tonight. Appreciate you guys. I can't say it enough. Just 3 regular East Tennessee dudes hanging out, talking Tennessee football, and almost 500 of you here hanging out with us. But I think you guys, you understand that we're genuine, that we truly, me and Dauber, I don't think it wasn't last night. I think it was last week's fan calling show. Me and Dauber kind of looked at each other, and it's like, holy cow, they know more than we know about football. You guys need to figure out YouTube. You'd put us out of business. But I've said it over and over and over. This is the heartbeat of the Tennessee fan base. VolQuest is great. I followed VolQuest for many, 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 many years, and I love what they do. I love Eric Kane. I love AP. I love all those guys. 24/7 Sports does good stuff. There's little pockets of the internet. Kyler Kirbyson, I like his podcast. But the Talkin VAWLS Network, is the heartbeat. It is where all of the diehard Tennessee fans come to hang out, and that's because you guys have a voice here. We appreciate you choosing us. Chris Kesterson for $20. That ain't cheap. Thank you for the super chat. Spent 98 in St. Mary's with my firstborn watching UT put a beat down on Florida. Been a minute. It's our time. Go Big Orange. Well, I hope you spend Saturday. Take Saturday and spend it with your firstborn watching this game, and hopefully the tide turns. And JP, keep it. I'll just let you run with it. We got a big time super chat I'm going to hit in just a second. You think Saturday's a turning point? How important is Saturday? Do you feel like, I don't know, man, I keep saying those words, turning point. It just feels like to me, one win in the last 17 years, we're favored. Josh Pate says Vegas isn't enough, 2 touchdowns. ESPN, FBI, everybody says Tennessee needs to win. How crucial is it? Look, Josh Heupel's in year 2. Billy Napier is in year 1. I think that we can truly pull ahead in this race, in this rivalry, and kind of flip the script and start putting a streak together against them. I think this one is huge.
Yeah, I mean, that possibility is certainly there, like you said. I mean, we're in year 2. We've got a better quarterback. We've got, a offense that is very hard to defend. Florida's got depth issues. They're in their first year with whatever his name is, Napier. So, the opportunity is there. And I know that there's going to be a lot of big time recruits in Knoxville on Saturday. Like Heupel said in Monday in his when he met with the media. I mean, you are not going to find a better atmosphere. I don't care where that you go in college football than what's going to happen down there Saturday at 3:30 when that power T separates and that team comes running through there. And then if Tennessee can play smart football and not give Florida anything, that place is going to be absolutely rocking. And, the opportunity to get some of these recruits that aren't committed yet, that Tennessee's after, yes, I mean, Boogie, the opportunity is there. I mean, it is there for the taking, and I think that's why this fan base is just built up of all this frustration and disappointment, and they know that this football team has a great opportunity. And when they see Josh Pate say that, Vegas doesn't have the point spread enough, and he thinks it should be more at 2 touchdowns versus 10 and a half, that just adds to it. I mean, that just adds to it. The thing is, this football team and this coaching staff has to come out Saturday and execute. They have to play they can't keep Florida in this football game. I truly believe if Tennessee comes out and plays the way that they are capable of playing on offense, I feel like that Tennessee will win this game easily. I still believe that there's issues with the defense. I still believe that there'll be chances for Florida to score, and I expect Florida to score. But Tennessee cannot give Florida anything cheap to allow them to stay in this football game. If Tennessee comes out and executes, takes care of the football, doesn't commit stupid penalties, they will win this football game, and it is a great opportunity to accelerate what to me is already, like Dauber said, an overachievement last year. This time last year, if you'd have told me 365 days from then that, we had an opportunity that Tennessee would be ranked 11th in the country and a 10.5 point favorite against Florida, I would have said that you're absolutely crazy. I mean, I would have said that you're absolutely crazy, but the reality is it's there. But Tennessee, this football program, this coaching staff has to take this opportunity and actually win this football game. And so many times that we've seen they've had opportunities, maybe not like this, but we felt like that the opportunity was to win one of these big games. And over the last 15, 16 years, we just haven't done it. Saturday, they have to get it done.
That's it, though. You said they've had opportunities, but not like this. This one feels bigger. It feels bigger.
Well, I mean, because we are a 10.5 point favorite against a team that has beat us 16 out of the last 17 years.
But even in addition to that, it means more because of what you just said, that where we were just a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
A year and a half ago, absolute rock bottom. And when we talk about keeping that upward trajectory rolling, that's why this game is so crucial, because you start looking ahead to 2023 and you look at the talent that you're going to lose. And the way Joe Milton's looked, we had a great time making fun of people last night that hated on Boogie over Joe Milton. Joe Milton's looked great. And when you look ahead to 2023, all of a sudden you start thinking, man, maybe the talent doesn't drop off as much as we think. And it's so crucial because 2022 is so different. It's so different than even 2016-17. The transfer portal changes everything, because you could talk about Nico and Caleb Herring and Shandavion Bradley and all these people that are committed in the class of 23, but it's bigger than that, because now you can go out and cherry pick all the top talent around the country. Guys like the quarterback for Akron, as big of a prick as he was, I don't want him in Knoxville, but that type of talent, guys like Isaiah Nair, guys like Brew McCoy, there's people all over the country that if Tennessee goes out, they win a game like this on Saturday, it's a little bit different. You go win, you take care of business, you continue that momentum, you're going to have a huge opportunity in the transfer portal. Look, the goal is that Nico doesn't take any meaningful snaps next year. We want Nico to be the Taven Jackson of this year. Play in 4 games, get your red shirt, and then move on. Let Joe Milton take care of business, and then we'll have a bigger competition in 2024 with Taven Jackson and Nico. Let me hit this big-time super chat. David Zierlein for $50. That ain't cheap. Look, we're almost an hour into this thing. The way you guys are throwing super chats at us, very generous. We'll keep this thing rolling.
I'm never going to get in the bed tonight.
No.
Boogie will keep this thing going all night. They keep
all night long. We got 528 people watching live, and they're throwing $50 super chats. We're staying live all night long. And spoiler alert, I got a busy day tomorrow. I don't even have time to make a video. I'm going to have to stay up and make a video for tonight, but I'm going to stay right here with you guys because you're being so generous. But we got to play the clip.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
David with a big 50 spot. Thank you for the super chat. Both Tennessee and Florida are different teams from last year on both sides of the ball. Dauber, don't you think we just have more talent than Florida? I truly believe we have more talent than they do this year. Don't be so hesitant. There is a reason that Vegas has us at 10.5. There is a reason ESPN FPI has us heavily favored. There's more talent in Knoxville than there is in Florida right now.
I think there's more upside. Florida's always going to have talent. They're always going to have athletes.
Sure, they have talent.
I think that the pieces for Tennessee fit together better right now. Tennessee is clicking better, and I think that you have a lot of unproven and a lot of questions, especially with the coaching staff at Florida. You look at the games they've played, and you look at how tight they've been. There's a lot of questions. That seat for Billy Napier was pretty hot after 2 weeks. The Utah game was close and looked pretty rough. and then they ended up pulling it out.
They could be 0-3. They could be 0-3 right now.
Easily could be. I mentioned last night. What does the hiring of Billy Napier at Florida remind you of?
Butch Jones.
Derek Dooley. I would even go further that.
I don't know. He's
Shane Beamer's Butch Jones. Shane Beamer's Butch
more
Jones.
Success than Dooley had.
He has only been a head coach for, I don't even think it's 5 years.
But I say Butch Jones because he won what, double digits the last couple of years at Louisiana. But that's Louisiana. That's not the SEC.
15 or whatever. Yeah.
That's not the SEC.
Exactly.
That's why he's making that stupid comment about we're not going to Canada. Let me tell you something, brother. You poked the bear. Get ready. Get ready for Saturday.
And here's the thing. I bleed orange just as much as anybody here, and it's hard to say things like, well, Florida has athletes, but look at the history of this. Look at the last 20 years of this series.
But when's the last time we've been favored by 10.5?
Well, I know, but
in this series,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It feels different.
I don't think that. I mean, I don't ever remember ever in my lifetime being favored. We didn't start playing them every single year to 92, I guess it was. But.
And to defend Dauber a little bit, look, Vegas knows what we don't know. And when we start talking about how hurt is Anthony Richardson, how serious is his leg injury, Vegas knows. They've got connections everywhere. The middle linebacker, it certainly appears that he's out. I've not seen anything factual yet. That plays into it. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but I think we're in a better spot right now than they are.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. But that wasn't the question you asked me.
I still think Tennessee has more talent.
Well,
especially at key positions. Like, it's a quarterback league.
Yeah. Quarterbacks? Yeah. Big time. Check mark in Tennessee right there. But
and it's more depth right now too, you know. I mean,
I would agree with that.
I mean,
here's the thing.
Florida is. Go ahead, Dauber. Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, and this is. I don't want to spoil my prediction. I
just keep teasing it. Leave them hanging.
Man, there are two things that I think could potentially hurt this Tennessee team Saturday, and I'll leave that lingering right there. Let it brew a little bit. And
brew.
And
Did you say brew?
Brew.
I said brew. I said brew.
That's the sign. Brew is going to have a big day. Brew.
Let me catch up on Super Chats, then we'll hear the last from Josh Pate here. Stevie J with another $20. Stevie J feeling it tonight, being very generous. Thank you, just Stevie, for the Super Chat. Coach Heupel has done an amazing job changing the culture of the team. Give him his recruits and his team. It will be scary. Go Big Orange. You know, that's something I've talked a lot about. You know, Nico. That's his quarterback. Of course, Taven Jackson is his quarterback. What he's done with Hendon Hooker has been impressive. Cedric Tillman, you know, we kind of talked about what him being out or not. Dauber said, look what he's done. Cedric Tillman wasn't Cedric Tillman like 18 months ago, but now who's going to be the next Cedric Tillman? Josh Heupel.
Jalen Hyatt has already stepped up. Big time.
And, I questioned that in the offseason when all the comments came out. It's like, I'm excited about it, but you got to prove it. Now he's proven it. We've seen what he's done. Josh Heupel's showing you if you put in the work, you'll have success here. UT Will becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that, Will. You got those custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, access to the fan call-in show, all kinds of fun stuff. We appreciate that support. Am I caught up? Man, I got so far behind there. Here's Robert, 45, Tennessee for 5. Tennessee is running 80 plays a game this year compared to 76. Wow, putting us in our place, talking about slowing down a little bit earlier. So they're running faster now than they were a year ago, according to Robert, 45, Tennessee. Thank you for that super chat. I was not aware of that. Let me make sure we got one more coming in here, but let me scroll through all the comments here and make sure we're caught up. One of these days, StreamYard's going to answer my email. Man, I didn't think I would have to do this on a Wednesday show. I thought this was something I would have to do on post-game shows only, but you guys are showing so much love on this Wednesday show that I can't even keep up with the chat. Love it. We appreciate you guys. UT Will for $20. Not cheap. Half a tank of gas. Half a tank of gas coming from UT Will. We appreciate it, buddy. Tennessee wins big this Saturday. Big first half from Hooker in the defense. Milton will be playing in the – holy cow. talk about a day. If Joe Milton's playing in the fourth quarter, 48-17, go big Orange. It's great to be a Vol. Love to hear it, Will. JP, do you have any confidence at all that Joe Milton sees playing time because it's mop-up duty? Vols by Fiddy, that's the name of the stream.
I mean, I would love to see him playing because Tennessee's, got this huge lead and stuff. But no. My prediction is going to be a lot closer than what people are thinking for sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Hope I am. I hope the Vols win by 50, but I'll have to believe it to see it.
See it to believe it there, Hubs.
Or see it to believe it.
Whatever. There you go. Now you got it. Look, we got 520 people watching live. I told you guys if we hit 15,000 subscribers tonight, we're going to give away 3 free T-shirts. We're a little over 40 away. So you guys have pretty much cut it in half in an hour. We're going into overtime now. So share this thing out. Share it out. We would appreciate it. Let's get to 15,000 before the end of the stream. We're going to listen to Josh Pate. We're going to get into predictions, but we got a chance. If everybody stops what they're doing, all 518 of you hit that share button, we got a chance to get to 15K by the end of the stream. Let's hear these a few more comments here as Josh Pate kind of goes into their analytics for his prediction.
This is exclamated by the lack of a guy like Ventrell Miller. For the record, we have baked that into that number. So that's part of Tennessee being minus 14. And also, I have very little confidence that what we have not gotten from Anthony Richardson at home is all of a sudden magically going to show up on the road. So I can't depend on that Florida offense, and because I can't, I've got to factor in the possibility that this thing gets out of whack. Certainly could paint you a picture where it's a one-possession game in the fourth quarter and Florida's got a shot to win it. There's just more on the other side. There are several more scenarios where it's not. So I'm taking Tennessee to win, even at that lofty a number. I'm taking Tennessee to cover.
Woo! He's not just taking Tennessee to win. He's taking Tennessee to win by 14 or more. JP, what do you think? Like, I feel like you're a little I feel like, and look, I'm putting you on blast just like I put Snake on blast in the postgame show because I know you guys are so nervous about this game. I'm nervous too, but nobody puts me on blast. You guys just let me sit up here and throw questions at you, and you just kind of leave me be. I'm nervous too, man. Like, I get excited the more the week goes on, but when I'm sitting alone and I'm in my head thinking about how important this game is, battered Vol syndrome is real.
Are you want me to make a pick, or is that?
No,
what
I'm just saying, battered Vol syndrome is real.
Yeah, but
Can you hear me?
I know. I was like, what is he lagging? What's happening?
I mean, yes. I mean, we've lost 16 of the last 17 this series, and we've talked about that every way imaginable. Tennessee has found a way to in some years give this game away, and some years we've just not been as good as Florida, and with all that. But, none of that really matters. I mean, most of these players, yes, they played them last year, and it was a pretty good beat down with that. But, like somebody said, these teams have kind of changed since they played last year. Obviously, Florida's got a new coaching staff and all of that with that. So, I really feel like that Heupel is not going to play tight like Philip Fulmer did so many times in this series. I mean, Spurrier had his number. He talked about it the whole time, and he got Fulmer so uptight, and that carried over. And I think that was certainly a lot of those problems there. So, but I don't think that Heupel and this coaching staff is going to do that. They're going to come out. Tennessee is going to try to play the Tennessee brand of football that Josh Heupel runs, the offense, and it just comes down to the players being able to execute. Can they execute? I believe that they can, and they should. But that's why that they kick it off 3:30 Saturday, and we'll just all have to sit on pins and needles and just wait.
Houston Settle in the chat says just subscribe. Go Vols. We appreciate the support, man. We're less than 40 subscribers away. You guys got to take care of business. I'm trying to bleed into predictions and wrap the show. You guys keep dropping super chats. I've got the 2023 schedule pinned where I can throw it on here, and we can talk about that, and we can go from an hour to an hour and a half and give you guys an extra 30 minutes to try to make this happen. The way you can do that is just start throwing super chats at us. Yeah, I'm shilling for money, but we'll stick around for an extra 30. I'll make JP stay up an extra 30 minutes. Dauber, I see the smirk on his face. He'll stick around and hang out and make a little extra money. Let me go back up here to Robert Tuck for 2. He says, pay me, Boogie. I'll keep up with super chats. I don't even pay JP, so I don't know, Robert. It's a tough job. It's a tough job, but somebody has to do it. See how sad JP looks down there. Dauber's smiling as the super chats roll in, and JP's he's like, what is this? This feels like an unfair deal.
I just show up as a favor.
Show up and look at the chat. It's the biggest chat we've had all week long.
Again, if those folks that have given money to super chats, you're more than welcome to say that this goes to Vols JP.
Don't start that again.
And then I will never see it. So, but at least
I have a check right here beside me for $273 from 2 weeks ago when everybody said this is dedicated to JP, and I said okay, and I wrote it down. Now I've got a $272 check written right here beside me. I would show it to you, but I don't want the banking information on there. We got to protect.
You think I can find me a ticket for Saturday
use that
for
for tickets.
200?
You could use it for tickets. See,
$73.
you get on here, and that's not even a thing, and you start saying allocate super chats to me, and then they start coming in, and every super chat says, this is for JP, this is for JP, this is for JP, and all of a sudden, I'm not making any money, and it's all going to JP.
I don't do this for the money. I've told you that. I do it because I love talking about Tennessee football. I love interacting. I love talking with all these diehard fans, just like myself, you and Dauber. I mean, and yeah, I have no idea half the time what I'm even talking about. I just know that I want Tennessee to win. I want Tennessee to win in the worst possible way. The worst possible way. That's all I care about. If they win 3-2 Saturday, I'm going to be screaming around, running around here, acting like a big old idiot. It's all that matters. Just win.
With your shirt off? You're going to take your shirt off and run wild on Saturday?
Will. Just win the football game. Just win. That's all that matters.
I don't care about money either.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
I accidentally hit that. I did not mean to hit that. I accidentally hit that. Robert 45 Tennessee for 5. Thank you for super chat. If Tennessee does not shoot themselves in the foot, this game will not be close. That's kind of how I feel. I feel like it's in Tennessee's court. The ball's in Tennessee's court. You go out, you take care of business. It's ours to win, to quote Bud Kilmer. OBH for 2, just a tip in the tip jar. Let me guess, JP, that's for you because he didn't say anything, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
This is a turn of events. Wayne for 2 says this is for Dauber.
There you go.
Right in the old tip jar. Hey, Dauber's a paid employee. He's the only one that's loyal to me around here. He's the only one that doesn't quit. He even asked me one time. He said, Indy Kid quit twice. Do I get 2? Do I have an opportunity to quit twice? I love poking the bear. Look, man, we're all real life friends. It just is what it is. Like JP said, I just love coming on here, shooting the bull. I love the fan call-in shows. I love playing NCAA football. Those shows are so laid back. A whole lot of fun. Is this Uncle Rusty? Is this Rusty Nuts? Look at Rusty Nuts invading the chat. You see, we stream sniped y'all, and we got you guys some subscribers. We got you some views, Rusty, but you and Snake are in here. I didn't see the viewers go up. You're just hijacking the show. Actually, since they're here and they're saying it, I think COG Sports Cards, go give them a sub. That's Snake's channel. I think they have a live stream tonight. I think they have a special live stream tonight. I may be mistaken, but regardless, go subscribe to COG Sports Cards. Snake would appreciate it. Josh O for $50. That ain't cheap. I don't care about money, but
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
Josh O for $50. Very generous. We appreciate it, Josh. Thank you for that super chat. Not sure if you guys have touched on this yet. UT cannot afford to see 3 and 4 fourth downs. I'll take fourth down practices the last couple of games. But that's concerning going forward in SEC play. Yeah, there's a big difference between Akron and Ball State, and that's exactly what you're saying there, Josh, is very true. It's practice. It's situational football. That's why Josh Heupel did it. Get everybody familiar, get lined up, get used to it. But you're right. You can't do that in SEC play.
Not just fourth downs. I
Third
think
downs.
they use some of those as goal line situations.
Yep, sure.
With the play calls. So, like you said, I think it was a lot of it was situational because the score of those games didn't dictate going forward. If you were going by the old play, the statistical analytic, the chart, it probably wouldn't have said go for it. But I think that this coaching staff is coaching them up. They're trying to get better. That's what it is.
Wow, are you saying they actually know how to coach football, Dauber?
Man, I tell you what, there's some good things going on in Knoxville.
What's concerning to me as far as what Josh O's saying right there is that first drive Saturday where we had it 3rd down and 2 or whatever, and we don't get the first down, and then we have to go for it on 4th down and 1 at our own field, right there at midfield. That's the concerns I have. Same as what Josh O's talking about right there is, against somebody like Akron, you should be able to push that pile and not have to go for it on 4th down. That's the part right there. That's what, to me, is what he's talking about. That's the concerning part, because those are the things that are going to have to happen Saturday and then in SEC play for this team to continue to have success.
Well, the flip side, though, a big question was getting off the field on 3rd down last year. And this team's done a much better job this year. The defense has stepped up. Everybody's going to say, well, look at the competition. But at the same time,
Pitt's a pretty good football team.
Yeah. So I think it's a give and take. And I think that with what Josh Heupel and company wants to do, I think it's going to be hard to recruit elite level defensive guys. But if you get talented defensive guys that can do just enough, offense, you're gonna bring in talent in on offense, and you're gonna score your points if you can do just enough. And like Josh Pate was saying, if you get up and you slice them and you dice them and it can become a runaway game before the other team even knows it.
If Tennessee gets up early, it's over. It's over. If Florida gets up early, Tennessee will have a chance. Just like the Pitt game. Pitt got up early. Tennessee fought back. I think if this game's going to be a blowout, it's all for Tennessee. There's no I shouldn't say no way. See, that's battered Vols syndrome. I started to say there's no way Florida blows out Tennessee, and the battered Vols syndrome says yes there is. There's a chance. There's a chance. Let me catch up on Super Chats. We got a few of them coming in here. Let me roll back up. Where were we? Wayne for 2 says, here, JP, here's $2. You know what I like, though?
Thank you, Wayne. Appreciate it.
I like that the $50 Super Chats come in and don't say that, and I'll just put them in my pocket, and I'll give you guys $2 a piece, and we'll get out of here and roll this thing up, and it'll be great. But then this happens. And Stevie J for 20 says, this is for JP. If we win the Florida game and keep Bama and Georgia close, I'll be very happy about this season. Isn't that the goal, Dauber? Isn't the goal, go beat Florida? Let's compete with LSU. LSU's in there with me for Georgia and Bama because on the road, hostile environment. That's a loss to me. That's why my prediction was 8-4 because I thought you lost to LSU, Bama, Georgia, and then a toss-up somewhere else, whether that's Kentucky, South Carolina.
I tell you, the LSU game, I don't know what's going on in Baton Rouge right now, but that's
like 50-50 according to ESPN.
I just feel like I know it's going to be a tough place to go down to play, but it just feels like, especially if Tennessee wins this game convincingly Saturday, that momentum is going to carry them right down to Baton Rouge, and they're going to beat the brakes off of LSU.
JP, do you think the bye week between Florida and LSU will favor Tennessee going on the road?
Definitely so. Definitely so, especially with the injuries. With that, I mean that'll give them 2 weeks to kind of heal up, and who knows about Tillman? I mean, I fully don't believe that he's going to play Saturday, but if it is a high ankle sprain, then I think that the real question is how long is he going to be out for? At that point in time, because
Yep.
those things can be very, very difficult, and especially playing a position that he does, where a lot of times those DBs are going to be going for their legs, and then just the fact that he's constantly running and having to cut and stuff like that.
But
That's tough to overcome, fellas.
like we pointed out, he wasn't on crutches Saturday. It's not been reported he's in a boot. So that
Not being on crutches tells me it could be a couple of weeks. Like, you've rolled your ankle, it's been bad. You can't play sports, but you can walk. But if you're talking about 5-6 weeks, you're on crutches, man. You're on crutches. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, and that's yeah. I think to me, Tillman is more important for the rest
long
of
haul.
the season than he is for Saturday.
Yeah.
Because I think the wide receivers room, I have confidence in the wide receivers room.
Charles Summers becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that, Charles. Hope to see you Saturday, 2:30, for the fan call-in show, tailgate show, an hour before kickoff. Andre Dahlberry for 10. Thank you for super chat. Boogie, the payback, James Brown. I know you want me to play music. The problem is, in a live stream, if you play music or you play like a live stream of music, you can be banned immediately, and that would be no live streaming for 90 days. So I appreciate the super chat, but I can't play certain music. So I appreciate it. But yeah, I think you guys would much rather have live streams and post-game shows than hearing the payback by James Brown. But I do appreciate the super chat. Sorry, Andre, that we can't make that happen. Josh over 20 says, last one. I hope not. Keep them rolling. We'll stay live all night long. Last one. I see Milton being RT Martin. Hooker has really put us back on the map with Heupel, but Milton is looking like a stud. What a comparison. Feels like 97. Boys, next year is 98. I said I've been talking about the quarterback competition going into 2023. But JP, seeing what you've seen from Joe Milton, we talked a lot about this last night, so me and Dauber won't say much, but don't you have a little bit more confidence in Joe Milton going into 2023 as him being QB1?
Most definitely. I mean, he's came in, in those 2 games, and obviously the difference here is he's not under any kind of pressure. He can play loose. Tennessee had huge leads. He wasn't out there starting, 0-0. That's the difference, and that's still going to be the question marks if he does end up being the starter next year until that first game, and probably a couple of games, is can he do the same things that he's done these first 2 games against inferior competition? Can he do that one when he is the starting quarterback and that pressure is on him? And then 2, can he do it against quality opponents too? But yes, I mean, he has looked so much better. I mean, almost perfect, basically. Those 2 games. I think he's had two incompletions, maybe. Out of those. So
his QB rating's ridiculous. It's
yeah.
through the roof.
So very, very excited, and certainly happy for him, and I think that hopefully that Hooker stays healthy this year, and the only action that he gets is in the mop up duties and stuff like that. But I think that if you're a Tennessee fan, that you have to certainly be encouraged by what you've seen out of Milton those 2 games for sure.
Absolutely, but like you said, there's been no pressure.
Yeah.
You talk about the pressure of coming into a game like the Ole Miss game last year, setting up for a possible game-winning drive, and not knowing the situation.
Yeah, but still, I'm way more happy with his deep ball accuracy because we saw it in Bowling Green. There's no pressure in that game, and he couldn't connect. That's That's, obviously what you're talking about, the Ole Miss game, that's a problem. You situational football, you got to clean up. But for me, seeing him be able to land that deep ball, that's a huge step in the right direction. Look, we're going to go ahead and bleed this thing into our predictions unless you guys go nuts and go ham and start throwing like $100 super chats and saying, no, Boogie, stop what you're doing. I want you to talk about the 2023 schedule. Like, if you really want that and you throw like a hundo at us, we'll stick around and talk about that, then get into our predictions. But as for now, I'm going to hit these last few super chats, and then we're going to talk about our predictions for this Florida game coming up on Saturday. And just a reminder to all 507 of you watching live, we'll be live an hour before kickoff. Fan call-in show, tailgate show, going to be a blast. Dauber, I think, is going to try to be here. Not sure if he'll make it or not. Regardless, we'll go live. We'll be here. We'll do it. And then we'll be live immediately following the game, right after the game ends. And that kind of bleeds into this super chat. $10 from UT Will. Thank you, Will. We appreciate it. Not if, but when the Vols win big this Saturday. Will JP come on the post game and sing Rocky Top? JP's looking for tickets. But, JP, if you don't find tickets, are you going to be right here with us?
I'll have to let you know on that, Boogie. Nephew's got a football game Saturday, so it may depend on that, what time, all of that, and stuff. So I'll have to keep you posted.
That's why we're firing on all cylinders, because JP don't have to be here. JP can show up when it works out for him. But we're firing on all cylinders. Regardless, myself, Dauber, and Snake will be here. Maybe the X Factor. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see what JP has going on. But we'll be live immediately following the game in a matter of minutes. Hopefully we are celebrating.
With all
I
that
will
raw
say this.
emotion.
Yes.
I will say this. Tennessee wins Saturday, then next Wednesday, the Wednesday show like tonight, Tennessee wins, yes, I will sing Rocky Top.
Oh, you guys heard it here.
Oh.
Somebody screen capture that. We're going to make it happen next Wednesday. That's kind of the way the thing's working out. JP's kind of committed to Wednesday. Snake's committed to post games, even though Snake was in the chat tonight. And Xavier's kind of bleeding in. We're doing some morning shows. Look, you guys know the deal. I'm ready to quit the job. I hate my job. I hate it with a passion. What do you guys think about a Friday morning show? Do you guys want a Friday morning show? I don't know if the X Factor can make it or not, but it's Florida week. I'm thinking about a Friday morning show. That would be 3 days. 3 days that I just blew off the real job and came here on YouTube and hung out with you guys. But I'm thinking about a Friday morning show. We'll see what happens. Don't get too excited, but let me know. You can put it in the chat or you can hit the comments if you're watching the replay. We may make it happen. Adam Smith for 5 says 5 for Dauber. When did this become a thing?
I don't know, but I'm for it.
How are they? They're taking money out of my pocket. Like, my kids are trying to eat their cheeseburgers for dinner, and then they just disappear. And they're magically on Dauber's plate. He's got like 14 cheeseburgers. I don't know when this became a thing, but it's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. Josh O for 5. Thank you for the super chat. Doesn't have anything to say. Just puts a tip in the tip jar. We appreciate that, Josh. Thank you for being here with us. Am I caught up on super chats here? Man, the chat's so fast. I love it when there's 500 people here watching live. Appreciate you guys choosing us. Let's get into some predictions. Let's talk about predictions. Friday nights. I'm not going to do Friday nights. I would do a Friday morning. Not going to go live on Friday night. Probably drop a video early Saturday morning. A game day video. So stay tuned for that. Wayne says Dauber's got to eat too. Yeah, Dauber can eat, but not JP. Stop giving JP money. Let's keep it with me and Dauber. We'd appreciate it. All right, let's get into predictions. Me and Dauber have been teasing and spoiling all week, so I'm going to save JP for last. Dauber, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Oh yeah, I'll wear it out. Let's go.
You've been teasing it all night, so let's get into it.
So Tennessee does have better athletes than Florida.
Oh, he's agreeing with me now, JP.
I think
he's waiting for the right time to agree with me.
Tennessee offense
once a year.
Tennessee offense is so much better. This thing will go 0 to 60 in, pedal to the metal. My question is, does Tennessee do something to shoot themselves in the foot? Does Tennessee make mistakes? Do they have costly penalties, turnovers? What will we see out of special teams? That is my big concern, special teams. Already had a punt blocked. Had a couple of close calls on punts. But if I'm thinking with my heart, if I'm calling with my heart, I want to see 41-14. I would love to see 41-14 Tennessee.
Holy cow.
I'm going to pick with my head.
Dauber's backing off his pick already. He's
gonna
already
pick
backing
Florida.
off.
He's going to pick Florida.
No.
Tennessee 34, Florida 20.
I like it. Look, here's the deal, man. As the week progresses, the further we get into this thing, I keep having these arguments with myself. I'm like, all right, here is logistics. Here is what it looks like on paper. Here is what it should be. And here is battered Vols syndrome boogie. That's where I'm at. That's the argument I've been having probably since Monday. I feel like Sunday I was kind of focused on Akron, doing the day after video, and then I kind of started to move into Florida when we did the morning show on Monday. Since then, I've been going back and forth. I'm kicking battered Vols syndrome boogie out of the house. He's dead and gone. I killed him, shot him dead, buried him in the lake. It's over. It's time to focus on what's real. And Tennessee has better athletes. AR is banged up. Florida's missing their best player, the key of their defense. Not just their best player, but the guy that gets everybody lined up, the guy that gets the play called. He's gone. He's out. We saw USF run all over him, almost 300 yards on the ground. Florida should be 0-3. Tennessee's 3-0. Tennessee's in the top 5 in scoring offense. Florida, I don't even know where they're at. They're terrible. They're like perforated paper, Dauber. They're terrible. Tennessee takes care of business on Saturday, and it ain't even freaking close. It's 42-24. We're not even nervous. We're not even nervous on Saturday. Tennessee starts fast. They take their foot off the gas. Florida comes back. Tennessee 42, Florida 24.
Hey,
look at this right there with me. A 45-24 prediction in the chat.
That's one. If that's a score boogie, I won't care that you're closer than I am.
Let's just win, baby. Let's just win, baby.
Yeah.
JP, I feel like you're a little bit more negative. I feel like me and Dauber diving head first into the pool, ready to get our hearts broken. Bring us back to reality.
Well, I'm certainly not picking Florida. I can promise you that. But I do have concerns that Hooker could potentially struggle to find his groove without Tillman. I just think that he's just so dependent upon him, and those two have just, forged that great on the field relationship, and it's obviously that's who Hooker looks for. So, I think that is going to be a huge loss for Tennessee, but at the end of the day, Tennessee has a better overall football team. 2 years in the system, their offense is better. The big key is they got Hendon Hooker, who, in my opinion, is playing much better than Anthony Richardson. As long as Tennessee does not, like Dauber said, cause self-inflicting wounds, as long as they don't turn the ball over, as long as they don't have breakdowns in the kicking game, as long as they don't have timely penalties, Tennessee can win this football game by several scores, I feel like. But they haven't been consistent. I feel like that there is going to be pressure, that there's going to be hype. And I think, but at the end of the day, Tennessee finds a way to win this football game 31-21.
I'll take a 1-point victory.
I
do
will
not
too.
care.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
go win on Saturday. Thank you guys for hanging out with us on this Wednesday night. Man, what a big-time stream. Over 500 people on a Wednesday night show. Tennessee's got to take care of business on Saturday, and it's going to be a huge celebration right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. Again, just a quick reminder, we'll be live an hour before kickoff. Fan call-in show. The members of the channel, you can still join. Hit that join button down below. You can become a member of the channel. You'll have an opportunity to come onto the show, hang out with myself and Dauber, and talk a little bit of Tennessee football leading into the game. Then immediately after the game, I'm talking a matter of moments, when the game ends, we will be live. We missed the goal. We missed the goal. We're a little over 30 subscribers away. So let me tell you, I'm going to extend the deal because that's what I do. I'm just begging to give away free merchandise. So if we hit 15,000 subscribers before I wake up in the morning, you guys don't know if that's going to be at 5 in the morning or 8 in the morning. Maybe I'll sleep till noon. You have no idea. But if we hit 15,000 subscribers before I wake up, I'll give away a free shirt. One person, what you got to do, you got to come to the comments after we go off air. Come to the comments, leave your prediction. And you can watch this after the fact. If you watch this 2 days from now, you can leave your score prediction as long as it's done before kickoff on Saturday. Leave your prediction in the comment section. I'll pick one lucky member if we're at 15,000 subscribers when I wake up, which is very possible because we're just a little over 30 away. So still take that opportunity. Share this thing out. Share the link. Look, the stream's over. You got nothing to do. Just get in where you fit in. Hit share, blast it out. We would appreciate it. I think we're going to hit 15,000 by in the morning. I'll give away one free shirt. You can pick whatever you want. Just make sure you leave that prediction in the comments below. But that's going to do it for this one. Hope to see you guys Saturday for the Tailgate Show. Also immediately following the game. He's Dauber. He's Vols JP. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
That we call